Welcome back to Roy on Rescue, Rescue fans. Yes, it's that time of year again. It's blizzard preparedness time. And if you want to know more about how to be prepared for this storm system, stay tuned. Coming up next. So we've got a crazy blizzard on the way. It's probably been, I don't even know the last time that we've gotten this much buzz in my neck of the woods in the Midwest about this storm system that's coming through. Now, if you're an avid snowmobiler and you like to play in the snow like I do, then this is probably good news. Might not be good news for travel, for Christmas, but it's fun, it's exciting. But we do need to think about a few things to be able to weather this storm well, no pun intended, and to be safe while traveling. So I thought I would take a moment just to brush us up on what to do and how to stay as safe as possible this snow season. So some of the things that we can do right off the bat, especially if that we're going to be traveling, is to make sure that our vehicle is well prepared for slippery conditions. So making sure our vehicle is in really good running condition. Number two, making sure our fuel is topped off before we set out on any kind of trip. Number three is making sure that we have really great snow and ice rated tires. These are tires that have a special compound in the tire that actually makes it more apt to grip in icy or snowy conditions than those all-season tires, which are not necessarily well equipped at all. They might do okay in rain and light snow, but once it gets so cold that the compound hardens and it's icy, it may not work well, even when it's an aggressive tread pattern. So something to think about: if it's going to snow really badly or it's going to storm in the next 24 hours, chances are all the tire places are packed full. You may not be able to get in there in time. So something to think about as you get into the winter season, not necessarily just before a storm, but it's all the same, something to think about. Then next is, do I have warm weather gear that I can put in my car for everybody in my car? So that means kids, babies in car seats, myself. If we slide off, if we lose power in the vehicle, do we have enough warm weather gear, hand warmers, foot warmers, blankets, extra blankets, to be able to keep ourselves warm and weather the storm and wait for help to arrive to tow us out or give us a ride to safety? Always something important to think about. Next is, do I have enough liquid, drinkable liquid in the car that's healthy and will hydrate me and my occupants for the next 6, 8, 10, 12, 24 hours in case we're stuck? The next is nutrition. Especially if you are a diabetic or a borderline diabetic, you might need some carbohydrates and some sugars in a short amount of time. It's always a good idea to have some kind of candy in the car, or some type of like complex carbohydrate, like a low glycemic nutrition bar, something that's going to give you long sustaining sugars and energy to help you weather a low blood sugar event. For the rest of us, just to thwart off the pangs of hunger and stay healthy and have the nutrition in our body to produce heat through burning carbohydrates is a good idea. So having a little snack bag in the car with some healthy foods is always a good idea, and it's sustainable. The goal is to make sure it's something that does not freeze solid because it has liquid in it. So like a, some type of Cliff Bar, protein bar, energy bar, something that is healthy and sustaining your energy well without making your sugars dip is always a good idea. Beyond that, the goal is to have enough fuel in your car to be able to use it as a safe haven, to be able to keep the heat on. If you slide off the road and you're in deep snow, it's always a good idea to clear the snow away from the exhaust system so that the carbon monoxide can flow out and away from the vehicle, not rolling underneath the car and seeping inside the vehicle's cabin. If you begin to sense a headache, nausea, sleepiness, and it's not just from being tired, it could be carbon monoxide poisoning. Make sure you get fresh air immediately. But digging snow away from the exhaust pipe and making it big enough so that the exhaust can flow away from the car and out into fresh air is a good idea. And then last but not least, Making sure that you have a charger for your phone. Having access to the outside world to be able to communicate is going to be key. That doesn't mean that there isn't going to be power outages and phone towers down, but having a way to keep your car running and use your vehicle to charge your phone is always a good idea and super important so that you can stay in communication with EMS, 911, emergency services, and family and friends. The worst thing that could happen is to have your family go out into the treacherous environment searching for you, and then they slide off and have problems as well. So something to think about: open communication, making sure people know where you're at and how you're doing, and then being prepared by preparation in your vehicle, your vehicle's condition, and the supplies that you'll need to weather a storm, especially in the case of a slide-off or accident, is always good to remember. Lastly, what if you're involved in an accident? Is it better to stay in your car or get to a high ground where it's safe? That is a very subjective question and not an easy one to answer. I would suggest that if you are in a safe environment, stay buckled, stay in your car, and call 911. Stay warm, use the car as a cage around you, especially if there's no place safe to go once you're out of the car. If it is a multi-car pileup and you're afraid of getting sandwiched in between vehicles, then, and I might add, you can safely get your occupants and you out and to a place of warmth and safety in a fast fashion without getting hit, that may be the better option. You're going to have to be able to discern that and use good judgment to know the right thing to do. Either way, these are scenarios that you should be thinking about and role-playing and going over with your family so that you have an action plan in place in case you need it. Listen, my hopes are that you have an event-free, super exciting, and a happy and joyful, peaceful Christmas and a happy New Year. But in case you need to drive or go out into the elements, I hope this video helps. Send me your comments and questions, and make sure to subscribe in case you want more videos like this. Thanks again for tuning in. Thank you for supporting Roy and Rescue, and have a very Merry Christmas. Take care. Bye-bye.